All right, welcome to the next section on Odoo development, mastering Odoo development. And in this section, we're going to set up Eclipse to do our debugging for us and to have a better IDE. It's going to tie into Odoo, and we're going to get it so that we can actually run Odoo through that interpreter that will be in Eclipse. So it'll give us more debugging. It won't run as fast as we have now in the terminal, so I'll give you that ahead of time. But let's go ahead and get started. And the thing we want to do is there's some nice shortcuts here where we don't have to set up so many things from scratch. And we're going to go here and we're going to type in Eclipse. And I think that's all we have to type in. And it comes up, Eclipse by Brainwe. That's Brainwe, MRI. And it says Eclipse provides a new experience for Eclipse users. And it is a fast editor. It's built on top of Eclipse, so it's still really Eclipse, but it comes built in with the PyDev library, which is basically an enhancement to the IDE that makes it really great for working with Python. And it's worth working with it over trying to configure other systems. So all you have to do is say get it downloaded, and we are naturally on Ubuntu, so we're going to want the Linux version here. So we click this, and we just want to go ahead and just save the file, and it's going to save it in our download directory. One of the reasons we're using Ubuntu Desktop is for this reason right here. You'll notice that pretty much everything else we've done up to this point was really done in a terminal session. We did that intentionally because the way we were working prior to this is going to be more common when you're working with headless servers. Like if you've signed up for, say, Amazon EC2 and you didn't get Ubuntu Desktop, but you just got Ubuntu Server, you'll probably use the terminal servers through PuTTY and things like that a lot. Since this is a developer video, we've introduced you through the terminal so that you can be comfortable with it, but really having a desktop environment is going to make it easier. And so let's go ahead and look that we've got this Eclipse ready to go, and we can go ahead and click extract to extract it out, and we just want to put it like either here on our desktop or in our documents or in our home folder. And I kind of like putting it in the home folder. And we'll say keep our directory structure and hit extract. And it's going to extract this out now into our home directory. And it says we can show the files. And there's our Eclipse folder. And we can double click it. And there's our application. So as you can see, one of the nice benefits of this approach is you're up and going quickly. It's pretty no nonsense. So let's go ahead and launch Eclipse. Now it's going to prompt us at the very beginning for a workspace to work in. And I typically don't pick a default workspace here. I'll just let it go ahead and pick this home Odoo Dev, which is our user documents Eclipse workspace. So it's going to save it kind of this particular interface that we're opening up here outside, and you can pick whatever theme works for you. I'm going to keep it light for now. We can always change it later, but I'll just keep it light as the default. And it tells us the theme is changed, which is kind of silly because we didn't really change it, but we just hit yes to restart. And that you just have to do that the first time with Eclipse. And it'll still prompt us again for that directory. But we're just clicking through it now because what we want to do is we want to hook up to our Odoo installation. So now that we got our package up and going here, this is basically a workspace for us to go out and get our files. PyDev doesn't care where they're at. So let's right click and say import, and it wants to know, where's our import source, importing from. And it's, we can import from Git, we have general, and you'll notice that we have a file system. So we could go directly from Git, but since we've already installed it, we don't have to. We can go right here to the file system and go, it says what directory, and we're going to go and we're going to find our Odoo dev, Odoo 9. So we're going to go right here to this root directory and say OK. And it says cannot import workspace with no open project. Create a project. So I had forgotten that we do want to do PyDev project. So that's my fault. We do want to go here and call this project Odoo 9 development. And we don't want to use our default. This is where we browse, and I apologize for that. We want to go here to our Odoo 9 and say this is where we're going to get our project, structure from, the contents of our project. And we know it's Python. Now, notice it says project interpreter not specified. So let's go ahead and click this. Please configure an interpreter before proceeding. And the nice thing is you can almost always click quick auto config, and it will find the 2.7 interpreter, which is the one we want. It'll add that project directory to our Python path. And there's our directory right to our Odoo 9, and we just hit finish. And, this used to be such a pain before with a lot of configuration, getting everything the way you want it. But now, if we open this up, look, there's our add-ons. There's our custom add-ons right here, everything we've done. There's even the little Python tutorial we added. And we can go right here now and open up, say, our dietfacts.xml, view.xml. Let's just test, and it's a good idea to always do this. Cut and paste. Just a change, and now you can tell in Eclipse that this is changed by this little star here. So we're learning a little bit about our IDE. We can tell that we've got a file that needs to be changed, and we can hit save to save it back. And notice how there's no errors, there's no confusion, and it's because we have intentionally from the beginning installed this as a development environment so that this user has access to the directory and structures we put our Odoo source in. So we're able to modify, and notice how we have in here now color-coded. We have color-coded code. Our text and what we write changes color depending on where we're at, and it's fully editable. We can use our mouse now to cut, copy, paste. It's a lot easier. We have our file structure over here on the left, so we can easily just go and double click. And in this case, it says default Eclipse preferences for PyDev. So this is the first Python we've opened, and it says wait for ongoing build before launching, never. So we can launch a file anytime we wish, and that's okay for us. Build if required before launching, no. Reason to launch a file in PyDev, a build is not required. And we don't need a build. And we can say to recheck whenever the editor's open. That's fine. So we're just going to keep the defaults. And it's just doing that when we open up our first Python file. So now that we've got it open, the thing is getting it to run. Okay. So one of the things that you'll see down here is there's this odoo.py, and we can go here and say run as Python run, and we'll just do this to see what happens, and it'll switch into a runtime, and we'll see right down here running 8069. So it's actually running Odoo already for us. But notice what it says here: dietfacts not installable, dietfacts module not found, some modules not loaded. Why is that? It's because this is just running odoo.py the way we ran odoo.py before. It's not running odoo.py with our add-ons path. And so we can configure that though right here. So we go to our run configurations, and under arguments, we can actually go dash dash add-ons path equals add-ons. And actually, I've been putting that one first, custom add-ons, comma, add-ons. So now this becomes our path, and we might as well put on our D diet facts, and actually it's U, I'm sorry, for diet facts. That's our module, and let's go ahead and add our database, diet facts 2. So we can set up our same program arguments within our development environment right here. We hit apply, and we can run. And it says address already in use because we were already running it previously here. So we've got to cancel, and actually we might be running it. No, we're not. I think it's running now. Stop all, terminate all. Make sure all of them are terminated, because we did run it once before we had the modules. So now I think they're all terminated. We can right click this and clear, make sure everything's clear, and so now let's run again. And there we go. Notice how diet facts loaded this time. And we can make sure that this is where it's running by doing things in here. So if I go to this and click here, we'll see the changes here. Like so. So now we're actually running in the interpreter inside of Eclipse. So we've learned how to get it hooked up. We're already hooked up to our source code, and we can already take advantage of the editing inside of Eclipse that we normally wouldn't have inside of Nano.